In this episode, we are going to discuss some of the main manifestations of chaos. In particular, we are going to speak about the Ashestones and the bonfires, the Darksign, and the first sin. In the previous episode, we demonstrated how the Old One, similarly to the Bed of Chaos, has its flame sealed by the staffs trusted all over its body. Through an attentive analysis, we notice how similar patterns to those used by the staff sealing the Old One and the Bed of Chaos are present in the respective swords trusted in the Ashestones and bonfires, in Demon Souls and Dark Souls. While the staffs seal the fire, however, the sword seems to have the opposite effect of producing heat and flames. This can be assumed by the fact that the Ashestones and the bonfires are burning, and we can prove, at least for the bonfires, that such heat is originated by the sword trusted in it. The coiled sword obtained by Udex Gundyr, indeed, has a permanently incandescent tip, and it is used to kindle the fire in a firelink shrine. The same sword, also in its weapon version, keeps its incandescent tip, and it is able to generate flames from it. The similar design and opposite functions between the staffs and the swords seems to imply that the staffs do not simply seal the fire, but instead redirect it toward other items carrying the same symbols as the swords. This means that the flames we find on the Ashestones and the bonfires are those generated by the Old One and the Bed of Chaos. The idea of Ashestones and the bonfires as interconnected portals is also supported by their gameplay function of transporting the player from one location to the other, and the description of several items, which mention the link between bonfires. It is useful at this point to add other two evidence supporting the idea of bonfires hosting the flames of chaos. In the first episode of this series, we defined chaos as burning darkness. At the same time, the burning of darkness through the rite of kindling allowed to boost the bonfire. Aldia, the main manifestation of chaos from Dark Souls 2, seems to be one thing with the bonfires, from which his chaotic body materializes. There are several reasons why we may consider also the Darksign as a manifestation of darkness. As the bonfire, it is made of burning darkness. The Darksign tied the undead to the last bonfire visited. In Dark Souls 2, Aldia is a being of chaos who seems to be particularly concerned with the course of man. In Dark Souls 1, Laurentius considered his turning undead and therefore being branded with the flames of the Darksign, as he is called to become a pyromancer. Humans are described to be similar to demons in their relation with Chaos Flame, so that the appearance of the Darksign may imply their connection with demonkind. In Dark Souls 2, we find the concept of the first sin as something mainly related to chaos and isolate. The term Scholar of the First Sin refers to Aldia, a human whose study of the first sin resulted in his transformation in a creature of chaos similar to Isolate. The lost sinner's name implies he's committing a certain sin, and besides fighting side by side with two pyromancers, in Eingyi he also carries the soul of Isolate. The nature of the sin discussed here is revealed by the description of the pyromancy floating chaos, and the dialogue with Swede Shalquoir. The first mentions a sin committed by the Witch of Isolate, and the second mentions the lost sinner to have tried to kindle the first flame, just as we know Isolate did. The fact that Isolate, Aldia, and the lost sinner are the three main representations of chaos in the Dark Souls series, and the fact that these characters are the only related to the concept of sin, make it clear how the first sin is nothing but a decoration of the Chaos Flame. There is, finally, a last bit of evidence about the first sin being related to chaos. The proper translation of first sin in Dark Souls 2 is actually original sin, which implies a reference to the eating of the fruit by Eva in the Genesis of the Christian religion. However, also Chaos has a bit of connection with the events of Genesis. In the first episode of this playlist, we considered the creation of Chaos Flame as the result of union of humanity with the Lord Soul, while in the second episode we recognized the humanity and the Lord Souls as the fruit of knowledge and the fruit of life in Evangelion, which again are a reference to the fruits of the Genesis. In other words, in Dark Souls, the original sin is about uniting in one body both the fruits of knowledge and life, which acts result in chaos. I would like to thank, as always, the Dark Souls wikis, which are very useful source of information and images. I would also like to give a mention to the several channels from which I basically stole the cutscene and small pieces of gameplay. These videos are just a part of a broader theory written in my book, The SoulsBorne Thesis, which you can read online for free. You can also back the physical version of the book on Kickstarter. Both of the links are in the description. Thank you, and see you in the next episode. Bye!